and welcome to the world's most famous podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacqueline Maddison. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Michael Dodsworth, who is the CEO and founder of FanFare and a veteran at high-stakes product launches. He's faced Taylor Swift ticket meltdowns, bot-ridden sneaker drops, and crashed servers. Now he turns chaos into clarity for both brands and fans alike. So in this episode, we'll explore what it takes to deliver seamless hype, build lasting loyalty, and rethink experiential commerce. Let's welcome Michael to the show. Let's dive right in. I'd love to learn all about your story and what it is that you do. Tell us a little bit about how you ultimately got into what you do and what drew you to product launches and live events.
Sure. So I founded FanFare a few years ago, and this came out of complete frustration on my side, both as a customer and as someone who's worked on the other side of things in a live events ticketing company and seeing the likes of like a Taylor Swift pre-sale going on sale, bringing down Ticketmaster, Oasis tickets go on sale, same thing. And we've all been in that experience as a customer, as a fan. You see that you have the multiple tabs open. You know, you're ready at 9 o'clock in the morning. You have your coffee. You have your friends on the phone all doing the same thing. And it's a bad experience. You sit for hours. You find out the tickets that you queued patiently for have gone to the secondary market and are selling for 10x the price. Bots and bad actors have come in and kind of ruined the day. And what we've heard over time, so I started in live events and then kept seeing this problem again and again in retail. So Kith is a good example, sneaker brands, footwear brands that have this real issue when they launch products of enormous demand, like way more scarcity than they have supply, and all of these problems around those launches. And for a small nascent brand who's built a large audience, they kind of make or break moments. And FanFare was created to deal with those kind of high scale events, to remove the bots and bad actors, to make sure people are treated fairly, and to reward your loyal fans. If you have people coming back again and again and again, you should reward them for their time and effort, even if they're unlucky in that launch.
Yeah,
so that's the origin story for me.
That makes perfect sense. I've always actually wondered, on these major, ticket launches, like how do they handle that influx of traffic so effectively? But I guess you're saying sometimes they haven't, which is where you come in.
Absolutely. Yeah, Taylor Swift was the worst one, I think, over the last few years. Ticketmaster crashed. They ended up having questions asked in the Senate and in the House. It's a bad day when that happens. So these things happen. But we see smaller brands just not able to wrap their arms around these kind of problems. They're just not set up to deal with 3 million people showing up all at the same time.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we might have to work together for some of our, print edition releases in the future. So,
absolutely.
How did you navigate your early years in event tech? And what was your sort of educational background, or are you self-taught?
Actually, I'm an engineer by training, so a software engineer. My brother brought home a Commodore 64 one day. It's absolutely dating me for sure. And I was kind of hooked. The idea of building something from nothing, that you could just kind of bootstrap and kind of learn these things and build up over time, like that was captivating for me. And then went through university, computer science at university, and then moved down to London for work. And that's when I joined my first startup, which was a company called Coral, which fast forward only a few months, we were acquired by Salesforce, and the whole team was scooped up and dropped in San Francisco, which was actually a nice move for the whole team. And I kept working on these really interesting issues of high scale. So Salesforce growing quickly, really interesting issues where you have billions of records and billions of people requests coming in on a daily basis and having to wrestle with those kind of problems. And then finding my way into more consumer tech. So I worked for a company called Optimizely for a little while. Again, like building up these user profiles and really trying to understand who the people are that are coming to your store or coming to your site. And that's when someone from my past came back and introduced me to Rival. We were just a C-suite and a pitch deck. At that time, I joined as the founding engineer and we built the service from nothing and built the team
Wow.
from nothing. And that
Yeah.
was an amazing experience. But that's how I found my way into being frustrated from both sides, having
Yeah.
to deal with this as a ticketing vendor and seeing all the problems that all of these people have to go through. Um,
Yeah. Well, they say necessity is the mother of all invention, but sometimes frustration can be too, obviously, in your case. Like there just
yeah,
needs to be a better solution.
yeah.
But
That was always my feeling of like, why is this still like this? There's absolutely a better way that we can do this. Like you see the
right,
lines around the block waiting for some kind of launch. Like, is there no better way that we can launch a product than having people frustrated? So that's where
right.
it came from me.
Well, even though you dated yourself, you still look great. So you're doing something right, whether you're eating well, exercise. Keep doing what you're doing.
I can share my regime if that's helpful.
In another chat.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So what was the sort of pivotal moment where you actually launched Fanfare and decided, okay, I'm doing my own thing? And how did you come up with the name Fanfare? How was it
Uh,
born?
yeah, that's an interesting route through Rival, which was the ticketing company I was part of, was scooped up by Ticketmaster of all people at the start of the pandemic. So when everything was shutting down, we were being scooped up and spent a few months inside of Ticketmaster and then seeing this problem again and again. So we'd addressed the issue of scale and the issue of like bad consumer experiences through these kind of highly hyped moments. And then I kept seeing it all over the place, even in going to the supermarket or going to the mall, like these kind of things at the start of the pandemic, like everything was scarce. And I just kept thinking, like, why is this still broken? Why
Right.
hasn't anyone solved for this problem? And I feel like at that point, I'd built up enough chops. Like I'd been at a couple of startups, I'd been at the large company, the mid-sized company, and I felt like no one is solving this problem. Like I should solve this problem.
Love it.
And that was the origin. We've definitely gone through a few names of the company. Fanfare is the latest and for sure the greatest.
Oh,
But
great.
the name came out of this idea that these are not just on sale moments. They're not just queues that you're joining. These are events. As a brand, you're creating these moments for your fans. And that idea of fandom, that idea of fairness, even though we are FARE, fanfare, like that seemed like the perfect name. And these are events that are about creating some kind of fanfare for your brand. And we should be
Absolutely.
there to help you do that.
Yeah, I love that. Now, why is it so critical for brands to ensure that their fan experience is top notch? And if it fails, why is it so critical or potentially damaging to the brand's reputation? For potential brand owners that are listening and don't necessarily haven't really understand the importance
Yeah.
of this.
I mean, the kind of hazards are on a spectrum. And I think, the best case, you launch a product, you've managed to create demand and build this audience and create this anticipation around your products. And then it goes live and things start to stumble. People get a little dissatisfied in that process, but maybe they get through and maybe they survive that launch. We find that brands just don't know anything about that experience. Like they don't know who showed up. They know the people who were successful. They don't know about all the people who failed. And that's a huge miss. Like you've created this scarcity and you've built this huge event. You should know who showed up, who spent
Right.
time, who waited like 3 hours for their product but didn't get it. It's fairly common for me to have gone through multiple sneaker drops, tried and failed multiple times and feeling that frustration. You should bring those people into the next drop. You should give them exclusive access because they're VIPs in the making. You just need
Right.
to go the extra mile and reach out to those people.
That
And then
or
on the
coupon offers. Sorry, go on.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Recommend
yeah.
products that maybe you can discount that are similar, or just, like I say, bring people into the next round where you in stock and you can bring people in early, move them forward in line, and give them a better experience. That's the kind of things we can do there.
Yeah,
And
I
then on
love
the
that.
other
Well, that
side,
makes me feel like you're actually showing the customer and consumer that you care about them. Then they're not just a number or just a transaction for you. And that's also, I believe, what lends to customer retention and loyalty over time. So it's very important.
absolutely. Yeah. And people, when they go through frustrating experiences, there was a survey done. You get maybe 4 or 5 chances, and after that, people are gone, and they're gone for
Wow.
good. You have, you've created this anticipation. If your site falls down just on a normal day, then people are a little frustrated, but they'll come back. If you fall down in that moment where you've created anticipation around, people get really frustrated really fast. And that's when you get the negative sentiment. You see brands going through, getting raked over the coals on various places when launches don't go well.
Yeah.
There was a Switch 2 launch a few months ago that didn't go well for Best Buy, Walmart, large retailers, well-resourced companies, and people just immediately head to X or they
Oh
immediately head to
no.
Instagram
Oh
and they voice their
no.
frustration, like just
Right.
reams of Reddit posts where people are just done with whatever retailer it was they tried. So
Well, and
it can really,
yeah. Well, in today's day and age, I mean, everything is so on demand. So patience, unfortunately, even though I believe patience is the highest virtue, and I think the Lord is always testing my patience, but I think that people don't have a lot of patience in today's day and age, so it's critical for companies and brands to ensure that the process is as seamless and easy as possible to get the
absolutely.
clients what they want. So what
Yeah,
features, sorry, go on.
no, I think when people invest time in your brand too, you really should treat them with that respect. Like we see brands where a good example actually is there's a Disney seasonal on sale where their season passes go on sale a few times a year. They're well publicized. They'll have some anticipation and hype around those events. And there's a little notification in that season pass on sale that says, if you online, this may take longer than 24 hours. If it does, keep your browser open. Don't go away. Like you may get through the process. Like that's a terrible experience for people spending thousands of dollars on a Disney season pass. Like don't do that to your fans.
Absolutely not. If I read that 24 hours, are you kidding me? I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, tell me how FanFare sort of offers differing solutions, but I would imagine in a situation like that, you could even direct traffic to multiple landing pages, multiple sites so that you're diluting some of the traffic flow. I don't know. What does FanFare do exactly, and what features define FanFare platform and service?
Yeah, so we sit in front of that actual checkout process. So we manage everyone through that process. So you're going into a fanfare experience and we're managing all of the traffic. We're pulling out the bots, the bad actors, and we're capturing all of that information. I think over time we can help entertain people and provide them with some more things to do, like information that we can provide to them, maybe recommendations for other products we can try and help the brand if they have a narrative that they want to get in front of an audience. We can help them with that.
So when you say help them, you mean build out and code out these sort of functionalities within their site flow that makes it more user friendly?
Yeah,
Or are
we
you talking
did it.
real time?
Yeah, actually more in real time. So we did a proof of concept where we had live streaming enabled for an experience. So we can bring in, so maybe you have an influencer or a celebrity you're working with and you want to run an exclusive experience just to your subscribers. We can help you do that. We can have the page that people go to. We can manage people. We can make people, go through a process where they log in, but then they can, watch a how-to video of the product, or they can engage with the community, or they can engage with that celebrity or influencer you have for
Oh, I
that launch.
love that idea. You're giving me new ideas for us, for my publication. We could do like this exclusive behind the scenes interview and,
Absolutely.
access now. Ooh, I like it. Okay, so what makes a queue fair and flexible?
Yeah, I think there's some transparency. There needs to be transparency to this. Like,
Yeah.
what are my chances? I think in the 24-hour example, like Disney know way ahead of time whether you're going to get through the process or not. Ticketmaster know how long it's going to be, whether you're going to get through or not. Those kind of things they have a good understanding of. And everyone has seen that experience. You end up with, there are 50,000 people ahead of me in line. What does that mean? What am I, should I keep going with this process or should I not?
Right.
And understanding that part of the experience of being able to self-select and figure out what you want to do in that moment is important. But also the bots and bad actors is a really important factor. I think
yeah. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw there was an article from OpenAI a few days ago where someone was talking about their experience as an engineer there. And they were talking about how they give out swag at OpenAI. And it turns out they do internal drops of their swag. And people just head to their Shopify store internally to go and grab a t-shirt or whatever it is for OpenAI. And they've brought down their site. And because they're engineers, they found a way of working around the system. So everyone at OpenAI knew how to kind of circumvent and get through the process.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
So you have those types too.
Yeah, bots and bad actors are a real issue.
Please excuse the short interruption for a commercial break. Retirement should be on your terms, not Wall Street's. With Bitcoin IRA, you own real crypto, not an ETF IOU. Trade 24/7, diversify with 60-plus coins and precious metals, and take in-kind distributions at retirement. Why settle for less? Own your future. Own your crypto. Bitcoin IRA. Click the link in the description to open an account now.
Brands are finding themselves kind of in a battle with more and more sophisticated bots, people who are using tooling to work around these processes and get through when they shouldn't. So it's a real problem for brands.
Oh, definitely. That's why cybersecurity is a real industry. It's a very real need in the web or cyber world.
I mean, the tooling over the last 12 months means that people can, spin these things up and be more sophisticated in the way they attack. So it's absolutely not something that a small brand should try and get their arms around. Like, we're here to help. We do this at scale, so please reach out if you have a bot issue for sure.
Perfect. And how can they reach you? Is there a website? Are you on Instagram? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always on LinkedIn for my sins, so you can find me there, Michael Dodsworth on LinkedIn. Our site is fanfare.io. We actually have a good set of case studies for brands looking to run this kind of event, what kind of things they should look out for, what kind of things they should plan for. So absolutely head there if you want to learn more about what we do and what we can do to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, how do you measure launch success? Is it number of transactions? Are there prior objectives, or how is that qualified?
Yeah, I think it goes beyond just did you sell out. I think it's how do people feel about the brand before and after? That anticipation that you built up. Did you satisfy that anticipation? Have you created those fans who are going to keep coming back again and again? Yeah. And for some brands like streetwear, footwear brands, it's often actually the resale market that they look to determine success of a launch. Like, is this selling for 2x, 5x what it was before? Is there a lot of anticipation and people trying to pull these things for the next launch that they do? So that kind of thing, like, are these things creating lasting relationships with the customers or not? It's not just the bottom line for them.
Yeah, and some of the most powerful marketing strategies are your word of mouth. And so if your customers are singing your praises, that's what you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we find, like, more and more, especially with social media, if you can create or be ready for a viral moment when it hits, this is an incredible model. To do a drop and to create scarcity in that moment is a really powerful model to drive lasting revenue and also just loyalty for the brand. And I think a good example is Stanley from the last few years. They tripled their revenue 3 years in a row. Like, they did incredible things by really chasing after this model and doing it incredibly well.
Excellent. So now, how do you convert that hype into the loyalty? I mean, as you just said, it's partly or mostly customer experience, but what else?
I mean, I think you want to make your fans feel special, and that goes beyond discount codes.
Right.
It's early access. It's announcing things to them early. It's making them feel like they're part of a community.
Yeah.
Those things really move the needle. So that's what we're seeing brands doing is more and more they are using the information that we gather to carve out VIPs and then been able to create an experience just for those people.
Like a VIP experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, even if it's early access, like VIPs,
Right.
we're going to show you this on Monday. You get early access because of your loyalty. We're going to show you these things early and get your feedback. Like those kind of things are really powerful.
So now how can brands capture long-term fan data? Because a lot of what you do is data-driven, correct?
It is. So we roll that up over time. So every time someone attends one of these events, that's a moment that we capture. And then over time, we can say this person, maybe Jacqueline came back 5 times. She was unlucky 5 times for items that she would have spent maybe $2,000, $3,000, but unsuccessful at checkout or for whatever reason just didn't get through the process. Like those people you can reach out to. Or maybe people who've been loyal fans with the brand, but they've just gone off the radar for a while. Like maybe you want to try and bring them in to an exclusive drop. Maybe you want to give them something that, maybe, they've been craving and bring them back into the brand that way. So identifying people using the data that we capture and then being able to do things with that information.
Right. So how do you keep momentum after launch day? Is that part of it? Like, is it email campaigns how do you do it?
Yeah, so we've been moving more and more upstream. So thinking about announcements, how often, where, should this be a DM? Should this be something that we like email, SMS? Like people feel fatigue from some of these channels, especially if you do these things frequently. So it's really a fine balance. And without the data, you can't make good judgment calls about how often and where. So that's another key point of this is, you should be running these things fairly often to keep people's interest and keep people going, but not so often that you're kind of deluging them with announcements and like day after day after day.
Yeah.
There are these things that they have to attend. So it's kind of, you definitely need to understand the data and understand the metrics. And we see that a lot of brands are just kind of flying blind right now and not knowing what to do.
Just sending an email or this or that whenever they sort of feel like it. But when it's data-driven and informed, it can be far more effective. But yeah, I'm with you. Even myself, let's say I elected to sign up for something and then I start getting emailed every day. No, way too much. So there is sort of a pattern, I think, an effective pattern of communication that works, whatever channel you're using to stay in touch with your customers. So the data helps to know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And knowing where people came into, like if you posted on Instagram 2 weeks in advance, knowing that you see people go into the store, they browse around, they come back out. You send her another announcement, they come back in, they browse around, and then when you launch, you get a much higher uplift in the people coming through. That's valuable information. And I think over time we want to try and recommend to brands what the structure of these things could be.
So how are you analyzing this data? And let's say a brand starts working with you. You access their Instagram, YouTube, website, etc., to track this traffic flow?
Yeah, it would be announcements that we make through them. So, we can help brands create campaigns around these kind of events. Okay. And that would mean the email that goes out, the SMS that you send, the Instagram post that you make, and then having ways of saying, this person came in through that campaign that we pushed for you, and then being able to tie all those pieces together to analyze the funnel and seeing where you're losing people, seeing what's successful, which channels work, which don't, what messaging worked, which didn't. And I think over time, A/B testing, figuring out which messaging reaches the right people and all of those things is important too.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. So what What sort of trends inspire FanFare's features and progress?
I mean, absolutely, sneaker drops was the first port of call. I'm an aspiring sneakerhead. I have a wall of just a wall of shame in my wardrobe, and that was definitely the first place we started, just because we saw all of these smaller brands, maybe 5-6 people, able to bring in 900,000 people to a launch, and doing this regularly, and just having a loyal fan base of people who keep coming in. So that was, I think, the first place we looked for people who were having these kind of problems, because you can see it. You can see it when you go to Instagram, and you can see the negative reactions that people have to these launches. But more and more we see collectibles, luxury, fashion brands all having this issue where they have some scarce products, either deliberately or just structurally, and they have these bad consumer experiences. So it's really the same problem, just again and again in all kinds of different industries.
You really have to master it. You just might be my new best friend, Michael.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Good. So how will AI shape the future drops and product launches and events?
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things that we're exploring is being able to have a more conversational way of finding out information that we've captured. So, the standard way is you head to your metrics dashboard, you see a report. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just ask, like, who are my top 10 customers this month? Or who should I reach out to? Like, just in plain text and just in kind of conversational language. So that's one area that we found incredible use for AI tools right now. As a past engineer, we've been sped up massively, especially in the last couple of months, by these tools. But it also means the people who are creating the bots to go after some of these brands have also got access to these tools.
That's true.
So we're seeing more and more sophisticated ways that people are getting through, and interesting things that they're doing to try and circumvent the whatever security mechanisms you have in place. So it's making a huge difference to me as a founder. I would have loved to have started this with all the tooling that's available right now. It makes me feel like I can run at any problem, because I have something there that can provide, even if it's a foundational amount of knowledge and information, it's so valuable, I find.
Yeah, it's incredible, the resources available to us now. Even myself, it just has increased efficiency and productivity exponentially. So now, how do you prepare for the unexpected, if there is such a thing, preparing for the unexpected? But how do you, if you can?
Yeah, I think choosing a vendor that is set up to deal with these kind of events is the first place I would try. But I think understanding that, when you create these kind of events, they can unexpectedly go viral. There was a soap brand, Dr. Squatch, here in LA that did a drop of soap that was infused with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
Okay.
And really interesting drop.
Yeah, I think I heard something about it. Oh, I did hear about that. Interesting.
Yep, it brought down their site. Ended up, the soap started to sell on eBay in the UK for £2,000. I think I saw. So just be aware, you can be wildly successful with one of these launches. You can find yourself on the tail end of 2 million people showing up all at once.
Wow.
So you really have to think, you have to be careful and really thoughtful about how you structure these things, what you have ready in that moment, and almost be ready, if you don't use a vendor like FanFare, to mitigate some of the bad outcomes that we see. We see, sometimes it takes weeks, months to try and resolve some of these issues around these launches, where people try and claw back things that went to bots and went to bad actors, and try and get them in the hands of real people. And it's painful for those brands.
Well, and also not to forget the profit loss, so it sounds actually like a good preparation to prepare to go viral. So, increase your server resources, etc. Prepare for the best possible outcome, right? And it seems that the server fails, for example, is just they or didn't prepare for success.
Yeah,
right?
I think hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah. So what lessons have you learned from being, the CEO of your own company, FanFare?
I mean, there's plenty of lessons. I mean, a lot of this is inward facing. You kind of learn a lot about yourself when you go through. I'm a first-time founder, so absolutely learning sometimes the hard way what I'm good at, what I'm bad at. You definitely you find out quickly those things. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, I saw a quote that says, "The things we build end up building us," and it's so true.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that maybe are outside your comfort zone that are going to make you a little uncomfortable for a little while, but then there's just the stuff that come completely out of left field that catch you off guard.
Yeah.
And being a founder, definitely find you uncover all of those things, sometimes painfully. So just a lot of learning about myself and learning what works for me. I think that's a really important thing too, is find out what works for you. Yeah. There's so much advice and so much, the 5 things that you should start doing tomorrow and the 10 things you want to avoid. Sometimes the thing that works for you makes no sense. It's not the common thing. For me, getting in the car and going for a drive really settles my mind. And I don't know why it does that. Driving in LA it's not supposed to do that.
Right.
But it actually works for me. And it's not the things that are more common that I see plenty of people providing advice around. It's just stuff that just happens to work for me. And you need to find those things.
Yeah, I love that. For me, it's long drives. I feel like my car is my think tank. It gives me a chance to sort of look at the landscape of my whole life, my business and everything, and gain some real clarity. And
absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I agree. And actually, that would be my next question. What would be your advice be to other founders? Anything else?
Yeah, I think it's it's a marathon, not a sprint. These are all going to be cliches, but you just kind of have to put one foot after the other, I think. Yeah. These are almost intractable problems that you're working through. Like you're in front of a mountain and you have to figure out a path up there, and it's daunting, but you just need to get up every day and just do the work and believe in the process and stay disciplined and not relying on these kind of big moments of motivation to kind of drive things forward. This is, it's a grind. It's going to be a grind for a while, and you just have to prepare for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Long-term commitment. But absolutely. Thank God it's only one day at a time, because, each day it's full of surprises, challenges, joys, and all of the above, So
absolutely.
That's how I take it, one day at a time, and it's a lot easier to go the distance.
Yeah. There was a really inspirational to me documentary that I recommend everyone go and watch. It's called Touching the Void. But the really inspirational moment for me is towards the end of it. He talks about doing something that seems completely impossible. He has to go from one place to another, and he is injured, and it seems impossible that he would get there. But instead of focusing on that goal of doing the impossible, he focuses on the next few meters in front of him, focusing on a boulder that he needs to get to, focusing on a rock that he needs to get to, and everything goes into just getting there. And then when he gets there, the next one and the next one and the next one. Like that's how it feels, I think, to go through one of these processes. You just need to focus on the things that are important in the moment and just keep going.
I love that. Absolutely. So what has been your favorite success story with a client that you've had an experience with?
I mean, I think one of the moments we had was with a brand doing a collab in Long Beach, and we did an in-person experience with them. And I think it was the most enjoyable just because it was last minute. We really pushed to get something done. We were very early at that stage, and just in the moment talking with customers as they were coming through, and then talking with the people who were operating that pop-up, and being able to, mitigate some of their really gnarly issues they were having. They had drops that were shut down because the police had to show up to try and deal with some security issues they were having. And when we ran the drop, it was an orderly line. People were coming through in the correct order. And even to the point where we could give those people a little time off. Like we allowed them to schedule themselves 30 minutes to go and get some lunch, which they'd never done before. Usually it was just complete chaos for them. And they just, they were on their feet for 12 hours a day. So that was a really nice moment.
Interesting. Yeah, in person is a unique idea too. So what legacy do you hope FanFare leaves for brands and fans alike?
I want to solve this problem. I don't want to go, I don't want to stare at a spinner for any more than I have to. Like, I don't want to be, having people wait around multiple hours trying to get their things and being frustrated. Like, I don't want that.
Right.
So that's, I think, what I want the legacy of FanFare to be, is just, fixing this problem with scarce launches, with highly hyped launches always going badly.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost expected that when something goes on sale, whether it's, an iPhone or a Switch 2, what the process is going to be. It's going to be painful. There's going to be clawbacks. There's going to be all kinds of issues at checkout. Like, it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
So we absolutely want to fix that problem. And then in real life, I think there's such an opportunity to try and create communal events around these launches. And, going back to my live events days, thinking about like having a whole stadium of people attend a draw. Like maybe an athlete is launching something, and it's just for the people who are in that stadium at that time. Like, that would be a really cool, compelling experience.
I love it. Well, it seems like FanFare is the solution. What is the website again?
It's fanfare.io.
I love it. Well, Michael, it's been such an honor. Thank you for spending time with us today, and I do look forward to working with you in the future.
I look forward to it too. Thank you.
Yes, have a blessed day. We'll see you next time.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.